Hi, my name is Sybil Sadler. We live in a society that likes to judge you by your past. And I wanted to know, when a person goes and applies for a job and they go, okay, give us your 10-year history, what do you put down? Well, I was on vacation in San Quentin. What do you put down? I mean, we all have made mistakes. Some of us just got caught. Some of us had a mother who could talk us out of it, so we didn't have to get arrested. But what are these people supposed to do? If you continue to condemn them for their past, then you can't, where are they supposed to go?
No, I think, let me just say, it's absolutely right what you're saying, which is every single job application in any company says, I want to know what you've done for the last 10 years, okay? And we know that in our, as an employer, I know that every day I have people that are facing that exact dilemma. Do I lie, okay? Or do I tell the truth? And in telling the truth, will that, do I check the box or do I not check the box? Do I put the, that's the thing. You've been great. We've banned the box for the county employment. We still have to fill out that job employment situation. So there are a couple of things that are really important. The reason I say to try to get us as employers into the system, right, into the systems, into the jails, is once that connection happens, okay, as an employer, then, when that job application, first of all, you tell the truth on the job, because I'll tell you on the job application, because invariably, if you get offered the job, most employers are going to do a background check on you. That's a standard fare, and it is 10 times worse to have lied than to tell the truth, okay? So that's number one, okay? But number two is that by having more and more employers going into and working collaboratively, being part of this table, then you start saying, the question is, okay, so you were in San Quentin for the last, what kind of programs? One of the things you do is you say, oh, okay, in 1965, I took this and this class, so I did this and this, I was in this kind of training program. Where? San Quentin. But that's all right. The key is, I want to know what your training and skills are. Does that mean that all employers are going to love it? No. Does that reality is that, well, 90% of employers or 85% of employers sort of write you off? Yeah, that is, okay? But there are sectors, there are some employment sectors that are much more open than others, okay? That's number one. Transportation and logistics, we started a truck driving academy because transportation and logistics is a lot more openness. Even with the Patriot Act, okay, there's still a lot more openness. So that's part of it is, what's the industries where there's more receptivity? Two is, put down what your skills are. Put down what your skills are. And if you don't, just leave it blank. The key is you want to get them in a conversation with you. I want to see what your skills are. If I see a job application and it looks pretty interesting, and I look and say, this person's got some skills, they left this information out, I will think maybe they forgot something. But what I will do is I'll call you back. Or someone in my will call you back. And that's your opportunity to engage in a conversation. So there are some techniques that are legitimate, they're honest, okay? You're telling the truth, but can work, okay? So those are a couple of things. What are we going to do to stop, the judgment of looking to the past as opposed to looking to the future? I don't know, I got clean and sober 23 years ago because I was so focused on looking at the past and not looking at the future. I had to finally start looking at the future as myself personally and say, you know what, I can use that, the fact that I was an active user, and be ashamed of it, or I can say, what did I get out of that? What did coming on the other side of that get me? And that's what I put out in front of folks. So that's the only thing. Is there's a personal issue and there's an organizational and sector and policy issue. And those are the one things I can suggest.
Okay. Thanks, Debbie. Take two more questions.
Hello. My question is, well, first of all, I'm a client at Walden House and I have been incarcerated. And my question is what kind of incentives are we offering employers so that they feel more comfortable hiring ex-offenders, and why can't we spread that more farther out so that it can be more, more
Opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can talk a little bit about that. The biggest incentive that's been put, and it exists here in California, are their tax credits. There are certain tax credit incentives for employers to hire formerly incarcerated individuals, okay? They have been, generally speaking, not particularly successful.
Right.
That incentive, which in most cases is something that, employers love tax credits. We love tax credits, but has not been particularly successful, okay? So what have been the incentives out there? They're not a whole lot more, As I said, more often than not, all I hear is, do it because it's the right thing to do. Well, that's not going to be an incentive on it, The incentives are, you know what? I can provide you with a skilled, competent, responsible worker and workforce that's going to add value to your company, okay? That's the first thing. I mean, there is so much, even in Goodwill, which we have more than 25 languages spoken. We have transgender folks. We have everyone working for us, okay? There is an endemic racism and endemic prejudice, even within that, and especially when you're bringing so many different people with so many different biases out there. So we have to work really hard at just overcoming our own racism and our own attitudes, okay? So part of it is, I'm really trying to encourage in San Francisco the chamber's been at some conversations and they've been at, but, we have to bring this conversation to the chamber, okay? We have to bring this conversation to the small business associations, okay? We have to bring this conversation and couch the conversation around we have skilled, talented people, okay? Because that's the conversation that needs to be had. So I don't know what else to do. I mean, there are probably a lot more policy experts out there right now, but plus the other last thing is a lot of employers don't even know about the tax credits. So that's the other issue. So from the advocacy side, the more you can help elevate that opportunity to employers, the better it's going to be.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Edmund Larry. I'm a tenant advocate for mental health in San Francisco, Tenderloin District, where we have 20,000 residents in SRO hotels, that's single room occupancy. And a lot of I haven't been incarcerated, but a lot of us have neighbors, and we know there is something going on. And coming here today was a chance to find out about things that I don't know. But I want to remind you this here. I'm a St. John 11 man who went to Arkansas in 2004. Now, what I found out there, I was so shocked after being away 25 years that there were a lot of prisons in places that I had never seen before. But I found out that people were not being put in jail because of drugs, a little stealing at Kmart, fight here, a drink. So what I found out, the prison epidemic is in this country. And I'm looking at the difference in the borders of different states have prisons on just stealing, Kmart, Walmart. And here what I'm saying is that I believe it's time that I hope Proposition 36 money and Proposition 63, which is mental health money for everyone, that we can work together to make this country a better place, because I think we should be into education and labor more than having more labor coming out of prisons. And it's time for us to get there. And I hope that you'll come back and work with the mental health Proposition 63 as well as Prop 36. And as you said, Yvonne Cook, sometimes discrimination practice in systems, you see these things, and I think America is hollering out now, we must change. Thank you guys for being here today.
Okay, I think it's time to wrap up with Jeff Adachi, and thank you very much for your attention.